All right, we're back in the Classic Motorsports workshop. Today we're going to be tinkering with our 1965 Lotus Elan. A Lotus Elan is a British car, but it's a very rare British car. This Series 1 car, this is a late Series 1. It was built in about September of 1964. They made about 900 of these cars. The Series 1 Lotus Elan is probably the most valuable of the bunch. They made 4 series, but like most cars, as the various years and series unfolded, the car got a little more complex, a little heavier. So these Series 1s are the purest of Colin Chapman, who created Lotus, of his design. So we actually found this car, a reader tipped us off to this car. It had been left in a field in 1978 up in Michigan. We went to Michigan to look at it and decided it was probably not savable. Then we decided it'd be kind of fun to see if we could save it. I mean, it's a very rare car, as I said, so saving it is certainly, you know, a value to the car world. And we called Bill Warner at Amelia Island Concours and said, Bill, we want to take this broken in half Lotus. It had actually been hit in a drunk driving accident back in 1978. And completely restore it and have it on the field at your show next year. I said, what do you think? Is that a pretty cool publicity thing? And he said, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Let's see if you can do it. And in fact, we were able to restore it, as you can see, and did show it at Amelia the next year. So this is a fiberglass bodied car with an X-frame chassis. So the chassis was actually very similar to their Formula One car, except they put you on the outside of the X, the center of the X, instead of on the inside like they did with their Formula One car. But technically the suspension and the brakes and the entire chassis is very reminiscent of their Formula One car from the early 60s. So a fiberglass car offers some advantages when you're restoring it and some disadvantages. In this case, pretty much the whole back of the car was missing, and we pieced this together from 2 other cars. Fortunately, we had readers that reached out and said they had parts, some fiberglass quarters for this car and a deck lid, so we were able to get those parts and recreate this car and bring it back to this level. As we've outlined in other videos, working with fiberglass is a thing I kind of love, and despite its messiness and itchiness, but it's relatively straightforward. And the biggest plus is there's no rust on a fiberglass car. And even the chassis on this car, while bent, and we had to piece together 3 different chassis as well, the chassis was not really that badly rusted, considering it had literally been left in a field for 38 years. So you might think that a car that was in this bad a shape with this few made would be a very tough car to restore. Fortunately, there are a couple of specialists. We dealt with RD Enterprises, and they were great to help us, and Dave Beam Engineering was also a big help. But there's a club, a Lotus Club, that's very helpful. The knowledge on these cars is very well preserved. The Series 1 car, it is the fewest of any of them, so it has some nuances. This is actually a late Series 1 car, which still has a 2-piece dashboard, whereas the Series 2 car went to a full wooden dashboard. So, but we were able to find all the original parts. The car came with its original engine, its original transmission, even the original steering wheel was there, which is a very rare and expensive item, but we were able to have that steering wheel restored. Driving a Lotus Elan is a very unique experience. It might look kind of like, well, it's actually quite beautiful, but it may look like a Spitfire or a Sprite or that type of a car, but it's very different. It is not a unibody car, it's a separate frame, but it has truly legendary handling. It's all independent coil-sprung suspension. It's got 4-wheel disc brakes. It's very well equipped considering the decade that it was made in. The driving on a Lotus Elan is truly sublime. It is so light and nimble. What's shocking, the most shocking about this car is how nicely it rides. I mean, you wouldn't think a 1,400-pound fiberglass car would be a nice riding car, but a Lotus Elan is a very comfortable car. There's tons of room. It's very tight, but I'm 6 foot tall, and you can put the seat back further than I even need. There's a lot of room in one of these. It's very comfortable once you're in it. The controls are all right at hand. The pedals are pretty close together. You want to wear narrow shoes, but the brakes, the steering, the overall handling is truly a unique driving experience from any car from any country. One of the things that makes this car so nice to drive is its engine. It's a Ford Kent-based 4-cylinder block with a bespoke Lotus twin cam head. Again, pretty trick stuff for 1965. It's made it to a close ratio 4-speed box that if there's anything that makes a Miata look like it doesn't shift well, it might be this Lotus Elan. I mean, the shifting is so nice and smooth and quick and slick. It is, again, probably the nicest driving car I've ever driven. So one of the things that makes this car so amazing also makes it problematic. The top mechanism, it does have a top, but it's truly ludicrous. It has fiberglass side panels and you essentially have to build the top. I think it would take you about an hour and a half. Fortunately, living down here in Florida, I've not had to use the top, although I did restore it. The windows do not roll up. To keep things light and simple, Chapman had the windows just kind of raise up on a spring held X member so they don't go down quite all the way. That's not that I left them that way, that's the way they are. The overall car is very light and flimsy. The steering wheel is not firmly mounted in place. Well, I mean, it's the way it is, but it's the way it's supposed to be, but it's not what I would consider confidence inspiring compared to a modern Mercedes or Toyota. So the hood actually doesn't even have hinges. It has a roller system where it pops up. It doesn't pop up all the way. The headlights, pop-up headlights, are vacuum oriented. It's a weird system. Actually, the vacuum is held in the frame. So if your frame has any rust, your headlights will be in the up position all the time. So very small, lightweight tires and wheels. If you put bigger tires and wheels on one of these, you will hit the fenders. It's the way it was made. The bumpers are fiberglass filled with foam. The bumpers weigh 3-4 pounds a piece. I'm not sure what they would do for you in an accident, but it's the way it was. It's kind of some of the things that make the car unique. So let me give you 3 things I really like about this car and 3 things I don't really like. On the like side, I actually love the styling of this car. I think it's so pure, and Miata obviously copied some of the elements of this styling. The Medici blue paint, which is an original Lotus color. This one's probably a little brighter than original, but I think bright is okay. But yeah, the styling and color of this car would have to be number 1. Number 2, the driving experience on this car is, again, it's like no other British car. I've got an Alpha Spider. It's better than that. It's probably the best driving car I've ever driven, and it's known to be that, and the rumor is true. And the third thing is, surprisingly, how comfortable it is inside, how much leg room there is. Considering how small it is, it's really shockingly comfortable inside, and it's certainly a driver's car. It is the ultimate driver's car. The 3 things I don't like about this car are, it is a little flimsy. I don't feel unsafe out on the road in it, but it scares me that it could break. And the reputation Lotuses have for reliability is not totally unjustified. We've had a few problems along the way with this one. The hood system, the way you pull levers on the dash and to pop it open and it doesn't really have hinges, it's annoying. So no, I don't like that about this car. Actually, the third thing that really bugs me about this car is the way the windows work. I don't have a problem with the fact they slide up and down because you're not using them this often, but I wish they went all the way into the doors so you can put your arm on the door a little better. You do kind of go around and over it, so it's not that big a deal, but this thing is so close to being perfect. So thanks for enjoying our Lotus Elan with us. It's obviously a very special little car. I'm honored to have it. It was neat that we found it the way we did and were able to save it. It certainly was a super interesting restoration process. Got very frustrating at times, but certainly, I think the effort was worth it. And if you like this kind of car, or you want to learn more about this particular car, go to our website, classicmotorsports.com, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like it, and then you'll know every time we put up a car like this.
Support brands that support classic motorsports. Get your chemical solutions from CRC Industries. Visit crcindustries.com to learn more.